Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Palette of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to our third Combat Patrol magazine video of the week. If you watched the last one, then you will know exactly what this one's going to be. But before we jump into it, as per usual, if you like this type of content, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already, and of course, drop a comment down below. I love hearing back from you guys. It really does go a massive way to helping out the channel too. Now, this video, we are going to go through the long awaited issue number 13. So, if you missed the last issue, I went through issue 12, right after going through issue 64, because that's how long I've had to wait for these issues. 12 months of waiting for this. Frustrating and annoying, but it is what it is. Anyway, issue 13 obviously came out in December 2024. Considering we're just about to enter December 2025, which is really frustrating and annoying to have to go through this one. It was part two of our Space Marine Terminators. So we got this little sprue and we got the bases and everything like that to go through building these chappies up. They are push fit minis, which aren't always my favourite. They're a bit annoying. I'm not a big fan of push fit kits. It is what it is, though. It just is what it is. You can't whinge too much about it because it's just the way they are. However, if you are looking for back issues of any good old Warhammer 40k Combat Patrol magazines or anything like that, by all means, check out Forbidden Planet. I have a link in the description for an affiliate link in the description, should I say. And it gives me a little kickback if you order from them. If you don't order from them, don't worry about it. It is what it is. But you might be able to pick up an issue. That's exactly how I got these chappies, how I got 12 and 13, because I used Forbidden Planet and I just checked it randomly and there was some there. So it is what it is. I bought them, I ordered it, and I think I ordered it on Sunday and it turned up today. And it's Wednesday today when I'm recording this, so it is what it is. But pretty cool stuff. Anyway, enough rabbiting on about that. The Space Marine Terminators are pretty cool units. I must admit, I do like Terminators. They have a bit of a bulkier armour. They're a little bit different. And they look like they can really take a bit of a kicking. So, they're a bit more interesting. Going into the issue, obviously, issue 12 has build guide. So, we're going to go through the paint guide. Paint guide's very straightforward. So, if you're already up to date, you'll have already seen what these guys look like later on anyway. It's all about painting it up. So if you're following the guide, you would have been using a Crag Blue, a Baron Black, and such like to kind of build up your very basic layers. Over the course of the 12 months following this issue, obviously we have kind of layered up, use shades and such like that. So you'll have much better looking units than if you were only at this point now. So if you're at a much later point, you can kind of ignore this, in all honesty, which is exactly what I'm going to be doing. But the paint guide, it does exactly what you need it to do. It's very simple, very basic at this point, and obviously improves much further later on. Anyway, we're going to go into a bit of Space Marine lore. So if you don't already know, creating a Space Marine is a very different way of doing things. So every Space Marine is a product of ruthless selection, ceaseless training, and gene craft so arcane and complex that it seems almost like sorcery. Through processes designed by the Emperor himself, aspirants are reborn as titans of battle. However, the risks in making a Space Marine are great, and few ever complete their training. Space Marines are not born but made. Recruited from the ranks of young warriors, an aspirant Space Marine must endure his entire body being slowly rebuilt into a weapon of war. Every chapter has its own traditions, but all follow the same broad structure. Aspirants must complete physical and spiritual trials and challenges to prove their worthiness, while accepting the implantation of a variety of gene-crafted organs. Their bones lengthen and harden, Their muscles thicken and bulge. They gain new abilities from spitting venom to reading memories in the flesh of the fallen. The last and most sacred organ to be implanted is the black carapace, a second skin lined with advanced circuitry that interfaces directly with the Space Marines' power armor. So, this will be why, if you ever see any of the random videos online and everything like that about suiting up a Space Marine and such like that, which you can find on YouTube and Warhammer Plus and such like that, you will see the Space Marines have all these little nodes and kind of ports that are built into their flesh, and that is because the Space Marines armor actually connects directly to it, which is weird and creepy, but it works for them. It's how they work. If you ever look at the Adeptus Sororitas and stuff like that as well, you'll see a bit of it in action on those as well, because they also have some of the very, very same type of thing, where they have these little nodules and ports and things like that on, say, like the Sisters Repentia and stuff like that. You'll see a few of them, and the Arcoflagellants and everything like that as well also have them. So it's just because of that's where the armour connects to and everything like that. So it's, a bit different, a bit weird, and it is what it is. Obviously, they selected their candidates very, very, utilising their own ways. Every chapter has its own different variation for selecting aspirants. Some of them will take young kids from certain ages and certain bloodlines, and some of them will utilise so like if they've come from a long history of a family providing soldiers essentially for the Space Marine ranks, then they will utilise those. Some of them utilise them where they take them by trials. Some of them taken from the good old more religious side of things and such like that. So there are many different ways of doing it. Obviously, Space Marines are superhuman though, so as they've kind of been adapted and kind of rebuilt up from the ground up really, and modified in a very, very weird biological horror style way of doing things, they have become superhumans. So they have extended life, they can spit venom, they can breathe in toxins and stuff like that and not be killed by them as a normal human would. They are stronger, they can go without sleep for long periods of time, they can go without food for long periods of time. The same with drink and stuff like that. So they are not your average person. They are very, very different, and not like me or you. So it is what it is. But Space Marines, pretty interesting, pretty different, and pretty unique in the grand scheme of things. Then, if you're following along with your story, you've got Bonds of Honor Part 3. Now, I must admit, I've not read every part, and obviously I didn't read this bit, so I am completely missing this, although I have read, I think, up to about 8 of these. So, yeah, it's about time I can go back and kind of fill in that blank there with this bit. So, you'll keep me busy. That's the main thing. Going on from there, we have our Terminator Squad Collect page, so we can give them their unit name, background, and all that good stuff. It's pretty standard. Obviously, we've had 52 more weeks after this, so this is really, really not important. Obviously, on the other side, we have our normal data sheet. Obviously, we already have the data cards for these, so we already know how these work and how they're utilised and everything like that. Then moving on, if you're following all rules, and obviously to give you the full basic rule book or anything like that with these guys as well, we have special rules all to do with leaders of the Space Marines and every other kind of faction. You will have leader units, so they will be notified on the data sheet and data cards if they are a leader. So for instance, Captain and Terminator Armor is a leader unit, and such like that. And how the leaders work and everything like that. So you can attach them to squads and they will provide bonuses, whether it's certain kind of traits or abilities that can be amplified and they can be utilised to help the unit itself kind of do things like rerolls or enhanced fire or anything like that, or focused fire, and give them kind of a boost in accuracy or firepower and such like that, can work. So it's all to do with your leader units kind of being attached to squads and how it helps them in battle. So you get to go through a bit of that and how it works in all the phases as well. Pretty nifty stuff. Moving on from there, we have scenario number 9. Now, if you've already completed it, you've already completed it. In all honesty, yeah, it's nice going backwards in time to Space Marines versus Tyranids, because they're always really good fun battles, isn't it? So, you know, bit of fun. So, Von Ryan's Leapers, Tyranid Prime, Barb Gaunts, Termagants going up against Space Marines. Whether it's, you know, choose a leader to go with the Terminators and have a bit of fun, smashy, smashy, nicey time. Obviously, Space Marines, very, very, very shooty. And, yeah, pretty good. So Terminators are a bit chunkier, a bit bulkier, and a little bit tougher to kill. So the Tyranids may not have the best time in the scenario, but otherwise it's pretty good fun, and you get to have a bit of fun with it. So if you've played along with the magazine, you've already done this bit probably, and yeah, you get to have a bit of fun. So pretty cool stuff. It's about time that I've gone through these ones. Obviously this one's a shorter video than normal because I'm not going through everything with you, because we've progressed far past a lot of this because this has been so delayed. It is what it is. So, but for now, that's going to be it from me, in all honesty. I've got nothing else to say about this one. It is what it is. We're not going to go into looking what's next week because we have part 2 of our Gene Stealer Neophyte hybrids, and issue number 65, and then we'll go from there and see where it all takes us. But for now, we have some really good stuff to look forward to. So we've got, obviously, the rest of the Gene Stealer cults. We have the Astra Militarum to look forward to, which will be really good fun. And we have the World Eaters to round off the magazine. And then we'll go into Spearhead. And yeah, which will also be a bit of fun, won't it, really? Anyway, that is more than enough for me. Thank you very, very much for watching. Joining me on this 3rd video of the week, because, you know, it's what happens when you have back issues that are finally turned up. It is what it is. Anyway, thank you for listening to me rabbit on. I'm not 100% today, so it's a bit meh, ropey. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye now.